at a local bar here. And I've been a fan of Brian since the Tavares fight a long time, 3 years ago or so, when that bloody war happened. And then so I knew that this was going to be Brian's biggest test. So when he knocked Frankie out with that beautiful combination, it was like that. It was the right elbow hook combination. It was just right then and there. I knew that I had to do something for Brian. And then the next day, that photo came out. The famous photo that I used for reference, and I got in touch with Brian as soon as I could. Within a day or two, I got in touch with Brian.
Nice, yeah, I know. The entire crowd just kind of like looked at each other and they're like, "Wow, I did not expect it to go down that way." Everyone expected him to get a finish, but it wasn't by knockout, and it wasn't by knocking out Frankie with one punch.
Yeah. And the thing about Brian, too, is he's got the most third-round finishes in the UFC. He lulls you to sleep. He gets better and better and better. And then by the time the third round comes, he's not breathing heavy. He's got your number. You're all banged up, and he comes in for the kill. And everyone knows that Brian is a master on the ground and, just at the highest level of jiu-jitsu that you can possibly get. But Brian's striking is unbelievable, people have now gotten to see. So that's why this fight with Max coming up on the 8th is just going to be outrageous. If Max goes to the ground with Brian, this is going to be great. If Max goes to the ground with Brian, it's over. But if they stand up together, it's going to be one hell of a war.
Anything can happen at that point. If they're standing up and banging, anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Max is one of those fighters, too. It's like he's got a lot of heart in him, and he won't quit. He'll keep going after you, so you're going to have to put him out.
Yeah, both of them. It might be fight of the year, in my opinion.
Totally. That's it. See, because my very first episode of my podcast was leading up to 226, and I said that. I said that. I was like, this is easily going to be fight of the year, and it just didn't happen that week, but I'm just glad we finally get to see it.
Right, yeah, for sure. I just wish it wasn't so far away. I'd probably fly anywhere, west of Dallas or something, but that's just, Toronto's just too far to fly to go watch that fight.
Yeah, see, I'm the same way. Like, if it was in L.A. or if it was, like you said, Dallas, Colorado, I would have been there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to go to most of Vegas cards. I tried to get tickets at 229, but they were gone in like 30 seconds. I noticed you were there, though. How was that environment?
Yeah, I just got back from Vegas. I was there for 5 days. We were doing the unveiling of Brian. We were on MMA Junkie Radio, which is always a great experience with Goes and George. The environment, Connor brings the heat. So I've been going to International Fight Week for years, and nothing replicates International Fight Week. If you're a fight fan and you've never been to International Fight Week in the beginning of July, it's a bucket list item. You're walking around town with, all kinds of fight fans wearing Pride shirts, Strike Force, Dream shirts, and all these awesome old school fans and stuff, UFC, which you don't usually get to see in like your Main Street USA, wherever you're from. So it's really cool to be around all these other MMA fans, but nothing really replicates that, but except when Connor fights. And then when Connor fights, it's like International Fight Week all over again. So yeah, this past week for 229, it was just like that.
What was the atmosphere in the building after Khabib hopped over that cage?
Oh, you know what? I actually watched the fight with Goes and George at the MMA Junkie studio, so I didn't go to the fight.
Oh, you weren't at the arena?
No, I didn't go I didn't go inside the fight, no.
In hindsight, I'm kind of glad I didn't get tickets. It kind of looked like it could have been a really, really bad situation.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit of a rough situation, although, I wish I saw that Tony Ferguson and Anthony Pettis fight in person.
Oh, definitely. And that Derek Lewis knockout.
Yeah. Well, don't talk to me about that. I made one big bet on the entire card. It was for Alexander Volkov.
Oh, man.
That was my bet of the night. I bet Alexander Volkov to win inside the distance and just to win. Inside the distance paid 3-1. So I was like, are you shitting me? Alex Volkov is like such an athletic fighter, and he's got such length and great push kicks. And I thought, with Derek's last performance, with how lackluster that was, yes. 3-1 to get, and who knows how his back is. I thought that was a great bet. And then sure enough, Alex comes out and does exactly what I think he's going to do. That was one of my worst beats of my entire life in MMA.
Yeah, like midway,
but I appreciate what he did.
Midway through the third round, I was just looking at him like he doesn't even want to be in there. I feel like I thought honestly it was like he's going to retire right now.
Yeah, Right.
But,
and now look what happens. Not only did he land that punch, he's got a championship fight in less than a month.
That is just crazy.
What a crazy sport.
I love it. This is the one thing I love about MMA is anything can happen.
Right. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. You know, if Alex Volkov doesn't stop punching Derek when Derek called for that eye poke and Herb didn't stop the action, if Alex kept going like an animal should have, not only does Alex get the first round knockout, but we might see a Derek Lewis semi-retirement going on there. And now look what happens.
Oh, what a fucking completely turnaround and everything has happened. Well, especially from like his last performance too. Like we were doing the wave inside T-Mobile Arena. Like we had our flashlights out. Like it was bad. Like I think it was a total of 13 strikes. And now,
oh fuck, yeah.
And now, after one knockout, we're talking about he's going to be fighting Daniel Cormier in Madison Square Garden.
Ay.
It's sport we live in.
Yeah. It is a wild sport. I mean, it is a wild sport. Meanwhile, all these people, we can go down the list, and all these people who deserve a title shot don't get one.
Oh, Curtis Blades.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's the
And
sport we love, though, man.
Oh, I know. It drives me crazy, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
And then Dustin Poirier is off that card with Nate Diaz, too. Did you hear about that?
I did. I hear about that. I heard about that as well. That's too bad because I was really looking forward to watching, Nate come back and, the big size difference, too, and, Nate's length and his ground game as well. It was going to be Dustin was a big time favorite against Nate, and I don't really see it. I think that Nate has such huge size and length advantage that, and even though Dustin's been on such a great run, he has proved to be beatable. And I was really looking forward to that matchup too. And now not only is Dustin off the card, but now no more Nate. So that's kind of jacked up.
Yes, and I heard there was some top-rated lightweights that threw their name in the hat to fight Nate at that card, but Nate just turned it down completely.
Either Nate, I don't know if Nate turned it down or the UFC just doesn't want to give him the fight. I don't think the UFC wants Nate on the roster anymore, in my opinion. I don't think they do good business together. There's always contention, and this was a great opportunity to make that fight a main event. Not even at 165. Just make the main event at a welterweight and just call it a day. I think that would have been sufficient enough for a great main event. But when UFC kept, not only not saying no, but kind of like saying hell no, it's kind of insulting, because Poirier is he's growing to be a legend of the sport, and no one would think twice that was a main event. I mean, not like the reaction that you got when they announced Valentina as the main event against
Sijara Eubanks.
Eubanks. It's
like,
oh wait, who's this?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Versus over Nate and Dustin as the main event. So. It's matchmaking is definitely weird, but it's definitely political too.
Oh, totally. Well, they completely scrapped that whole Eubanks idea. Eubanks is going to be fighting on that NYC card, but she's going to be taking on Roxanne Modafferi instead.
Quite a difference.
Completely, like Roxanne, Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, and styles too. The total opposite styles as well. So. It's weird how they do people sometimes.
Well, I kind of feel like Valentina, if she wins this title, is going to go on a Joanna-esque run.
We'll see. The division is, so light and it's thin. We'll see, what kind of competition, happens in that division. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Valentina fight again. She's a total murderer. And, if she can hold her own with Amanda 2 times like she did, one time like the last time that she did, that was razor close. She should hold that division down.
I thought Valentina won that fight.
Yeah. It was razor thin. She'll hold the division down, that's for sure.
Well, her and Joanna, they've already fought 3 times, and Valentina's beat her all 3 times in Muay Thai.
Yeah. I saw that.
Do we have any female fighters lined up for Bobbleheads?
Yeah, man, I have asked so many females, and they've said no, and I'm working on one right now. but the pen hasn't hit the paper yet to sign the contract. So no is the short answer. But I really want to make. I would love to make a Rose Namajunas, with her dead stare. I would love to make Joanna Jędrzejczyk with her face-off look. I'd love to make a Misha Tate after, her victory pose or her victory after she beat Holly in the final minute of, that fight. But it's tough, man. It's tough to have these fighters, see the same vision as you. I see this wonderful vision. I see myself making like the bobbleheads that I just described right now, but I can't get them to see it. And I don't know what else to do besides making the best bobblehead out of the person who does say yes. So for the person that is on the fence or just says no or never heard about me before, it makes it a much easier decision for them. All I can do is like control my artwork and control my process and put out the best product that's ever been put out before with bobbleheads. And that's my goal, and to do these guys as much honor and give them as much respect as I can through, this memorialization of a bobblehead.
Yeah, no, and you're doing that completely. Like, these are literally the best bobbleheads I've seen, and not even just MMA fighters. I'm talking about like of all time. And I've had some like really nice bobbleheads, like just baseball players and like detailed ones, not like the cheap ones. And that's what I really, really love about yours is the detail in it. Like, you actually went through and got every single braid in Brian Ortega's head.
That's right.
Identically correct. Like, the fact that you care that much to put that much detail into it is just amazing.
I'm a sicko, dude. I'm a sick fan. I really, really am. I'm a sick fan. I mean, there's not many things I love more in life than martial arts. And, I really, and it's been like that for 25 years. And, I pour my heart and soul out into these things. So, it's the least I can do for these warriors that put their life on the line to entertain us inside that cage. I'm just surprised that no one else has done this before me. But I'm just glad that I have the capabilities and the imagination and the business savvy to, kind of put all this together. I'm losing my ass still. I need a lot more people to, hop on board. I only have 3,000 followers on Instagram. That's not many at all. So I'm trying to do the best I can to get the word out there that I even exist. Hopefully more and more people will hop on board and see what I'm up to.
Well, definitely. Well, the proof is in the product, and the product is amazing. You just keep doing what you're doing, and everyone will come.
Thank you,
man.
Man.
Anybody that's a fan of MMA and collects any kind of memorabilia, that they have to have these. Like, these are must-haves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not making more. They're numbered. I only make 1,000. The fighter signs 150 of them, and then it's on to the next guy. I'm not going to make it. It's like we break the mold, so to speak. So hopefully they will become collector's items, one day.
What is your whole process from getting the fighter to agree upon it, and then making the bobblehead? Like, do you guys sit down? Do you collaborate?
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of input in it?
Absolutely. One thing about what I do that's totally different from any other bobblehead or any other piece of memorabilia for that matter out there. And I mean, I'm talking from any other piece of memorabilia except maybe some real rare circumstances where the fighters where the athletes are really involved in what they're putting out, which is like not that often. One thing that's unique about me is when I go to the fighter and I tell them that this is my idea and what I want to do, I tell them that the non-negotiable is that they have to work with me in helping me design these bobbleheads. And what that means is I want to know what kind of pose you're looking for. I want to know if you like, your hair color, your skin tone. I want you to help me design the box. I want all of your input. I want you to write a personal note to the fans that we put inside of there. So when the fan purchases it and they open it, when they open the box, I want them to know that the fighters or the athlete's fingertips fingerprints were all over these things. And they are. From the minute that you see the box, you know that this box is directly designed by the athlete. I mean, that's just the bottom line, which is really cool. And then when you open the box, the first thing you see before you get the bobblehead is